All right. And it looks like we are now live. Fantastic. All right. Move this over here. Bingo. All righty. Make sure I can see that. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. And this is a session on Facebook Live. Let me kick this out here. Hold on a second, folks. There we go. Awesome. All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for a, I would say, not extremely long, but a short tutorial on a tool that I love, Katie uses, we use around here. It's called Canva. That's C-A-N-V-A at Canva, specifically canva.com. So today we're going to talk through some stuff about why we like Canva, why we use it, and then I'm going to show you some tricks, some tips and some tricks about how to get the most out of it. Some stuff that I didn't even know until I started doing research on training this session about, oh wow, I didn't know you could do that. So some cool things that I found you can do. These are not like a how-to and a simple like step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of thing of walking you through Canva in general. This is more like just some tips. You can find a lot of that stuff on their website. They have a whole design school, but this is about Canva.com, and it's a tool that I think a lot of us like in the church communication circles because it does a lot of really cool things. So I'm going to make sure that I'm live and everybody can hear me. There we go. Let me pull this up real quick, folks. Bingo. Awesome. All right, so Canva. Canva.com, super easy tool. Now, why would you want to use Canva? Well, we want to use Canva for a couple of reasons. One, it is free. So if you are on a tiny budget and you don't have the money for a lot of resources or heavy graphic design software, this is a really great tool to use. The other reason why I love Canva is we love it because it's everywhere. In other words, you can get Canva from any device. So you have an iOS device, of your iPad, your iPhone, you can use Canva on those devices. You can use it if you got a web browser. So the beauty of this is I can create graphics here at my office, and if I need to work on them at home, I just open up my browser, log into my account, and there's all my graphics. Don't have to worry about syncing files or anything like that. So everything is synced in the cloud, if you will, to use that language, but it's all a web-based solution and tool. So it has advantages in terms of being everywhere. Of course, obviously with a web-based product, there are some disadvantages as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I love it because it's free. I love it because it's everywhere. And the third thing is I love it because it's fast. Just a couple weeks ago, we had a technical difficulty on our live stream, and I had to create a graphic real fast and say, hey, we're having technical difficulties. I could have opened up Photoshop and done that whole thing, Photoshop, find the image, do all of those things. But the reality of it is it was a lot easier for me just to go into Canva, open it up, find the graphic, slap the text on it, download the JPEG, and we were out the door and we were good to go. So I like it because it's really fast and lightweight. Again, this is the advantage of it being a web browser and not a piece of software that I have to constantly worry about updating. I'm looking in your direction, Adobe CS. The updates kill me. All right, so why me? Why am I here to tell you about this? Well, a couple things you need to know about me that I think would make me probably a lot more like the average user, or last average person who is in a church communication position. And that is one, I'm not a designer. I'm not a technically trained designer. I know design. I've studied design. I can do design work. However, I'm not a classically trained designer by any stretch. I didn't go to school for that. So if you're like me, where you're the person who is the jack of all trades when you have to see design, video, social media, all this kind of stuff, this is a great tool to use because you don't have to have a lot of that working knowledge before you go in. And it's not a huge leap to go into this tool and start creating stuff, unlike if you were like Illustrator or Photoshop or InDesign, which requires a little bit of a learning curve and probably, sign up for like a lynda.com tutorial class, that kind of thing. So keep that in mind. Two, I have emergencies just like you. As I said before, I had an emergency a couple of weeks ago, and I love this tool, and where it works for me is because I put out fires, especially on the weekend when the rest of your team has gone away, and we have, say for instance, a snowstorm hits us. How do we handle that? Do I call my designer up, or I just go on Canva.com, create something real quick, and get it out the door? So this really, for me personally, why I love it is because I can use it for emergency purposes. And the third thing is sometimes I just don't have the time to go in and do all the formal work, sometimes to do design work. Like you probably get that last minute request coming in going, hey, can you create this? And I know you really don't want to continue to honor those type of requests from certain people, but the reality of it is sometimes you just have to get the work done. And where Canva comes in for me is if I get a request on a Saturday afternoon from somebody, I can just quickly crank it out and get it out the door real fast without having to go to my office machine and spin up all the software, find these files, and do all this kind of stuff. I can do it right inside my web browser, no matter where I'm at. Okay, here's a couple things you need to know about Canva, though, before we go any further. Canva is not Adobe CS. It's Adobe Creative Suite. That's where you get Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, InDesign, all those wonderful tools. It's not that. Okay, so that's a much more high-level tool. This is much more create something real fast and quick and get it out the door. So you kind of keep that in mind. It's not a real good replacement for a lot of the heavy lifting that you expect the Adobe products to do. It's not a graphic designer. You still want to use a graphic designer if best at all, especially if any graphic designers are watching this. I do not believe that Canva is a replacement for a graphic designer. However, it's a great tool if graphic design has been thrust upon you in your job, but it doesn't replace the work of a quality graphic designer. So just kind of keep that in mind. And third but not last, but definitely not least, it's not really great for large scale projects. So if you got a large print project, you can do PDFs and print work on here. However, I don't recommend it because workflow wise, it gets a little bit cumbersome when you do a large scale project. So I use it typically mostly for web related projects and a few smaller print 1 to 2 page projects as well is what I've used it for. All right, so here's a roadmap of what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover real quick, we're going to cover how to find free stuff on Canva. Where's all the freebies at, which is I think what we're all kind of interested in. We're going to cover how you handle branding. How do you make sure that your brand stuff is on there so you can use it? We're going to cover how to create social media graphics all with one click of a button, which is going to be huge. It's called Magic Resize. And we're going to cover a couple design tricks that you may or may not be aware of. So this is more of a tips and tricks kind of tutorial. So we're not going to do a deep dive into certain aspects of it, but just some stuff that you may or may not know about Canva. So we're going to cover all those aspects in there. Now, what you're going to see when I pull up my screen is I'm using Canva for Work. There's two versions of Canva. There's the Canva free personal version and there's Canva for Work. Canva for Work is supposed to be paid, but if you are a nonprofit and if you're a church, you're more than likely a nonprofit, you can get Canva for Work for free. And you'll want to do that because you get a lot more freebies in terms of layouts, photos, and just a better user experience in terms of the overall product if you use the Canva for Work. So you'll want to sign up for that, and I will find the link for that and I'll put that in the comment section somewhere. I think Katie's got the link somewhere and she'll probably grab it and she can send it to me, and I'll make sure you all get that as well. So here we go. Let's dive into some things of Canva. Let me first kind of show you around Canva. You'll want to log into canva.com. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out of this. This is my presentation. And when you log into Canva or you set up your account, bingo, this is what you'll see. You'll see this screen. You'll be greeted with all of your designs, which you can see some of the past tutorials I've done here on the Facebook page or here as well. And there's my emergency graphic that I created a couple weeks ago down here in the lower left-hand side. But you'll see this screen. On the left-hand side, you're going to see the button to create a design, all of your designs, team members. Guess what? On Canva for Work, you can share stuff between people. Your brand allows you, I'm going to click on that for a second. That allows you to upload, create a color palette. You can upload your fonts. You can upload your logos. So it does a lot of great stuff. So basically what you do is, as you can see here, we've kind of already went in and we created a color palette. We created our fonts. So we uploaded all of our branded items. So I don't have to use the standard stuff that Canva provides on the personal account. On the business account, I can turn around and create all of my branded material. So that's kind of how the brand works. Team Stream, if you have people constantly creating stuff to create stuff. Athena, I'm using OBS, which if you just type in OBS, that's the broadcasting software that I use for this. And if you want to message me on Facebook and I can show you, I can give you a quick tutorial on how I pulled the whole screencast off. All right, let's get back to all of your designs real quick. All right, so this is the whole element. So what you want to do at the top bar is you're going to see all of these are their templates here. So creative design, I've got social media, 16:9 presentation, Twitter post, and desktop wallpaper presentation. If you click on more, you're going to get a whole bunch of other options. And here's one thing I love about this. It used to be I would always have to Google the proper size sheet for Facebook posts, headers, Twitter headers, all of this stuff. One thing I love about Canva is Canva updates all of this for me. So I don't have to worry about getting the proper Pinterest graphic size. It's all right there. They update all that. So I just go here and I can figure out what the proper size is for Facebook posts, Facebook app, Tumblr graphic, Instagram posts. It's all right there. So I love it. It makes it super, super easy. So if you're looking for something, trying to figure out the size, just click that little more button and there you go. You have all these sizes. You also in the upper right can do custom dimensions. So if you have a custom, which we do on a couple of things, you can put in custom dimensions and you can create the graphic based on what your size is. All right, so I'm going to click on social media real quick and I'm going to show you around a simple design. And it should pop up here in just a second. All right, so what they have is on the left-hand side, right-hand side, excuse me, you're going to have a blank canvas to work from. And then you have all these pre-built templates already in there, which I really, really like. Now, you'll notice that in the lower right-hand side of each of them, you'll see what's free. And if it's got a little money sign, that means you got to pay for it. So again, this is super easy to pull off because now all of a sudden is if I want to create a graphic real quick, and it doesn't matter in terms of branding, I just need to get the message out there. I can just click on any of these designs real quick. I'm going to click on this one. Boom, and all of a sudden my design's right there, and then I can just click on any element and I can just go ahead and change it to whatever I want it to be. So super simple to do. You can play around with this a little bit more. A couple of things and tutorials, some stuff about you may want to know just interface wise that sometimes to me is not super obvious, is whenever you click on an element, you can always come up here, you find your fonts, your sizes, your colors, all that kind of stuff, but you can also arrange elements by clicking on. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on this planet right here. You can click on arrange, and that's how you move elements forward and back. So just a little tip there. You may not know that. Now, when you're working in Canva, a couple things they don't really tell you, which kind of is a little bit frustrating, is when you want to move elements around. So think of this as like tip or trick number one that I'm giving you today. What you want to do is you're going to want to click, when you want to move stuff around, it's not super easy. So you can click this, but now all of a sudden I got to drag, actually let's click on this. I want to drag this element around, but it gets a little annoying to have to use my mouse. If you hold the shift key and use the arrows on your mouse, on your keyboard, you can easily shift elements around. That may seem like a small thing, but when you're working in this tool, that's huge. Another thing is if let's say you want to move multiple elements, just literally drag over and select all these elements, and then it highlights the whole thing. Hold the shift key and the arrow key, and guess what? You can move the entire graphic around. So think of that like, so that's tip number one, if you will, of how to move stuff around it. Canva doesn't really explain. There's actually some other keyboard shortcuts that if you Google, you can find out like how to pull up type and how to pull up a whole bunch of other things. So there's just some easy stuff you may want to know. Now, so I've created this graphic. So let's pretend this is our graphic, and let's just say it's like celebrate. Let's say the social media, let's just leave the graphic as is for that matter. And let's say this is my social media graphic for church for some reason. Let's just say it was that. And I want to take this, but however, I want to take this and put this across multiple platforms. One of the frustrating things is you would have to go in, take this, and then turn around and go back and recreate it for Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, maybe, whatever it is. What Canva has, if you use Canva for work, is this really cool little thing that you can do here. And that's you can go over to File, and you can click Magic Resize. And Magic Resize opens it up and says, what do you need? I need a Twitter post, I need this as a Pinterest graphic, I need this as a Facebook post, and let's just say I also want this as a, we'll leave it at these three. A Twitter post, a Pinterest graphic, or a Facebook post. Then you hit the little abracadabra sign, and boom, all of a sudden you'll notice I've gotten 3 more tabs that have opened up on my browser. And what it's done is it's opened them up in the brand new image in each of those 3 sizes I picked. The Twitter, so the Twitter, the Instagram, or the Pinterest, sorry, the Pinterest, the Twitter post, the Facebook post. So this is the Twitter post. And in just a second, my browser is being slightly slow. You'll see all the elements pop up. Yeah, so there's the elements right there. So that's it. And then all I've got to do is go in on this Twitter post and just basically kind of respace all these elements out. But now all of a sudden, boom, that's the right size of what I needed. So that makes my workflow a lot easier just to go in and all of a sudden I just quickly rearrange these elements and they're all done in the right size for Facebook post, Pinterest graphic, and the Twitter post. That is the magic resize button. So that can save you a lot of time. Yes, Tammy, churches can use the Canva for nonprofit, and actually that's what I'm using. It's Canva for Work, and we have nonprofit. We used our nonprofit to get the Canva for Work for free. So good question. So magic resize is huge. It can save you a lot of time. Now, another time saver for you is going to be searching for elements. So let's go ahead and I'm going to get out of these real quick. Leave the page. Yes, leave the page and leave the page. All right, so we're going to get back to our original design. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to clear all the elements out. I'm going to delete. So I've got a blank graphic. Perfect. All right. It's easy to find when you go to the Elements page. Actually, the Elements tab, it's to the far left. Elements is where you're going to find basically all this stuff they've listed. Now, they've done a great job in giving you a place to find all the free photos that Canva uses. So bingo, here's all the free stuff. And that's awesome. So I can just click on any of these and it'll just come right over. There's some red for some reason and bingo, easy, I can resize it. That's great. The problem is that when you get out of free photos for a second, I'm going to click on that. What if I want other stuff like free shapes or free icons or free, I think they actually used to call it at one point elements. The problem with that is that it's kind of hard to find those because they're not listed as free. So one thing you can do is there's a little tiny code that I will put in the comments section that you can type in. And hopefully I'm going to do this right because I tried this today. I'm going to grab it. If you go in and you type this little piece of hidden code right here, and I believe you do it on, it pulls up all the illustrations that are free. So you no more diving around to find the illustrations. Now you can just peruse these illustrations, and these are all their free illustrations. So bingo, there you go, all the illustrations that are free. So type that little code in, and all of a sudden now you get their free illustrations, which is a huge time saver versus trying to ping around going what's free, what's not free. You could just punch that in, and you're good to go. And that little piece of code now gives you all the other free elements. So that's a little power trick there to show you where all the free elements are that on Canva. All right, one other thing in terms of this that I really, really like, and that is when you go to frames. Frames is super cool because what it allows you to do is you see these really simple ones. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to take care of that bread graphic real quick. Now you see frames and you see here, okay, this is a standard square. But if you scroll down, you get to the really fun creative ones. And I'm going to give you an example, like this one right here. So I'm going to click on this one that's for the arrow, and all of a sudden I get this. Now when you see like this cloud image with the grass, that's usually there like what I call placeholder. And so what you can do with the frame is now that I've got this frame set up, so I drop the frame over, okay, what it means when you see that cloud and the grass and all that stuff, that's kind of their placeholder. That means they want you to put an image there. So now all I do is, as I click out of frames, and I'm going to go back up to free photos. I'm just going to grab a photo. I'm going to grab this photo. I'm going to drag it over, and voila, boom, there it is. So you can use some like your church logo. You can create some really cool artwork and just literally kind of just drag it over onto the frame and create some really cool. Tanya, I'll put the code for the free search in the comment section. I haven't done it yet. After this is over, I'll throw it in there for you. It's kind of hard to read, and it's kind of like there's a whole bunch of gibberish. But anyway, that's how you do a frame. I really like frames because that's a really easy, quick way to go ahead and just kind of get some really cool design ideas. So if you just click on frames, again, you want to scroll down, you'll find all these wonderful frames. I just think some of them are just really cool, just to create a kind of a different piece of artwork for you real fast. And so I'm just going to delete that, but that's how you can use frames. Another thing that sometimes you want to do creatively is you want to create what's a text mask, and that is I want to put images inside of letters inside of the text. And there's not a really great way to do that in terms of Canva, but there is a hack that you can do, and you can make this work. And that is when you're in here, you can search in terms and just search the term alphabet. And bingo, you'll start seeing letters pop up. So anytime you see that letter, again, with that cloud and that grass, you know. So I'm going to drag over the E right here, and I'm going to scroll down, and you should see some more letters pop up in just a second. Bingo, here they are. By the way, that big tall one there, that's the letter I. So I'm just going to type in, I'm going to grab the A, and I'm going to grab, let's grab, what else we got down here? Oh, let's just grab, I'm going to grab this N, grab the N over here. This is going to be lame, but bear with me here for folks. Grab the E. All right, take the A over here. And then I'm just going to take the word R. We're going to take the word, we're going to do the word near. Okay. So actually, let's do this. Give me a second. Let's say you're like, this is like you. Give me a second. I'm going to resize everything real fast and we'll get, yeah. Let's say for some reason you had to do the word near. We'll just use that for argument's sake. All right, so now that you've got this, now all you got to do is you've got this all squared away. And remember, these, again, you see that cloud and that grassy knoll, if you will, that's what you know as a placeholder. So now I'm going to go to Photos. Or I can go to Backgrounds or Textures or anything like that. I'm going to go back up. I'm going to click out of this real quick. Go back to All. Let me go back to Elements button here. There we go, Free Photos. Then I'm just going to grab whatever photo I want. So let's just say I'm going to grab, and again, you can pick any photo. Let's grab this starry. And I'm just going to drag on top of the letter and boom. Check that out. You've created a text mask real easily. Just drop the photos on and then, so you can upload, as you can see there's over to the left hand side here, there's an upload button. You can upload your own photos, your own logos or whatever, but you can create a real fast, easy text mask by turning around and just type an alphabet. You'll find the letters. They're not in any order, which is a shame, but they're not. But turn around, just grab them, throw them over there. Again, you're going to look for the ones that have the cloud, you know, that cloud kind of grassy knoll, and turn around and just drop your image on top of that. And bingo, you've created a really simple, easy text mask for Canva. So there you go. All right, a couple of things to see here. Oh, if you're looking for inspiration, I'm going to go back to this, all of my designs. If you want to see some inspiration, some design ideas, you're kind of going, okay, I want some ideas, but I'm not sure where to get them from. Here's a hack. Go into canva.com and go to canva.com/design-stream, and then you will start seeing all of these Canva users' other designs. So now all of a sudden I can see all these other designs that people have shared on Canva. So if I'm looking for design inspiration, I want to get some ideas, I can just simply go there and bingo, here's all this other stuff that people have shared online. You can even give them feedback, you can heart stuff, you can comment on stuff. But if you're just looking for design ideas, it's a real quick, easy way to turn around. Like I really like this idea right here, whoever did this cityscape, Reniel Rodriguez. I like that, I dig that. I may want to steal that idea later on at some point. But bingo, you can find those ideas. So just go to canva.com/design-stream and it'll pull this up right here. If you're on the personal version of Canva, there's actually a link for this on the left-hand side. For some reason on the work version, that's not available. So there you go. But that's an easy way to get some ideas for you. Just go to canva.com/design-stream. All right, that covers the free elements, that covers design stream, that covers how to create text mask, we covered how to move elements. Only other thing is I think I covered a little bit earlier was, hey, if you want to go ahead, upload your stuff. Well, how we use it, how I've used it in the past is I have all of my branding elements all in the Your Brand section, so you want to do that. But that's just kind of some tips and tricks I wanted to show you on Canva today. Again, I told you this tutorial is going to be kind of short, but I just want to kind of give you an overview on some of the stuff you may not be aware of with this really easy to use tool. So if you got questions, I'll take them right now. Otherwise, I'll close this out and Jet and you guys can ask questions inside of the comment section. I'll stay online on Facebook for a little bit to do that. So if you got any questions, hit me up, let me know. I'll go ahead and look and see if we got any questions so far in the stream. Let me pull that over. All right, so Kenny's got a link for you right there, folks. If you want to get Canva for Nonprofit, just go ahead and click on that link and that'll get you hooked up. All right. Cool. All right, well, I don't see we've got any more additional questions. If so, great. If you do, hit me up. Let me know if you got any questions. I'll help you out in terms of doing the best I can in terms of helping you understand how to use this tool. Again, it's a great tool to use. We enjoy it. We use it here. We don't use it for all of our design work, but I definitely use it to get me out of a pinch, especially on Sunday mornings when we got to go fast and hard and I don't have time to open up Photoshop. I'm busy running the church online stuff for us. This is a great, easy way to do that. So, and again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Be back here next Thursday for another tutorial of somewhat, I don't know, Katie and I have just figured out what we're going to do next. If you got ideas for that, let us know, and we'll get that together. So anyway, you guys are wonderful. You guys are great. Have a wonderful Thursday. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.